Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. There are moments in life where you feel like you're standing alone. Nobody's beside you, nobody's watching your back, and it's just you. That's a fact. But here's the thing you need to understand: you're not weak because you're alone. You're not less because you don't have a crowd cheering you on. In fact, in those moments when you stand alone, you're stronger than you'll ever know. The world has a way of making us think that we need others to succeed, that we need constant validation and company to feel complete. But the truth is, some of the greatest growth happens when you're by yourself, figuring things out on your own. Alone doesn't mean empty, it means you've got space. Space to find your inner strength. You have to understand that at times the battle is yours alone to fight. And that's where your real strength lies. When the world is quiet and it feels like the whole world has turned its back on you, it's in those moments that you find your true power. You see, fear creeps in when we're alone. Fear of failure, fear of being misunderstood, fear of not being enough. But I'm telling you right now, the fear you feel is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you're doing something important. It's a sign that you're pushing boundaries. And fear is just the beginning of the transformation that's taking place within you. When you face those challenges, when you walk through those moments of solitude, you're building something much more powerful than you realize. You're building resilience. You're sharpening your mind. You're honing your skills. Personal empowerment comes from within, and it is one of the most significant forces in shaping the trajectory of your life. The world often conditions us to believe that our strength lies in external validation, approval from others, or the security of being part of a group. We are told that success is easier when we have others around us to encourage, help, or even carry us when things get tough. But real empowerment is not about waiting for others to provide that strength for us. It's about discovering and nurturing the power that lies within ourselves. At some point in life, each of us will face a moment when we are alone. It may be a physical separation from others, or it may be a mental and emotional feeling of isolation, even when surrounded by people. During these times, it can be tempting to feel weak, insignificant, or lost, especially if we have relied on others for validation or direction. But in truth, these moments of solitude are opportunities for self-discovery and growth. They challenge us to go deeper, to look within, and to cultivate a sense of strength that is unshakable by the opinions or actions of others. Personal empowerment begins with the realization that you are the master of your own fate. The power to overcome obstacles, to set and achieve goals, and to persist when everything feels impossible resides within you. In those moments of solitude, you are forced to face yourself, your weaknesses, your doubts, your fears, but also your strengths. It is easy to feel confident and strong when others are around to support you. But true strength is revealed when you stand alone and still move forward with determination. You discover that your internal resources, such as your mindset, your resilience, and your belief in yourself, are the driving forces behind your success. This kind of empowerment doesn't come from a one-time event or a fleeting moment of inspiration. It is built over time through consistent effort, self-reflection, and the courage to face challenges head-on. Every time you push through a moment of doubt, every time you keep going when it feels easier to quit, you are strengthening your inner resolve. You are teaching yourself that you don't need anyone else to validate your worth, that your actions, decisions, and perseverance are what define you, not the opinions of others. The process of personal empowerment also requires a shift in perspective. It's easy to look at solitude as a punishment, as something to be avoided or feared. But when you change the way you view it, you can transform it into a powerful tool for growth. Solitude offers the space to reflect without distractions, to dig deeper into who you are and what you truly want out of life. It's in these quiet moments that you can hear your own thoughts, without the influence of the noise around you. You can begin to understand your desires, your strengths, and your purpose in a way that's not clouded by others' expectations or opinions. In solitude, you can also gain clarity about your values. When there's no one else around to influence you, you are forced to confront what truly matters to you. It's easy to get lost in the demands of the outside world, to follow the paths laid out by others, but when you're alone, you have the opportunity to align yourself with what is truly meaningful. This alignment is a critical part of personal empowerment, because when you act in accordance with your authentic self, you tap into a deeper well of strength and conviction. Your actions become purposeful, guided by your values and driven by your inner power. The more you embrace your own power, the more you realize that you don't need to rely on external factors to feel strong or capable. Your personal empowerment is not dependent on others' actions or approval. It's about trusting yourself, believing in your abilities, and developing the confidence to take on whatever comes your way, regardless of who's with you. You learn that the power to overcome obstacles is already inside you, waiting to be tapped into. Building this kind of empowerment also means learning to silence the negative self-talk that often accompanies moments of solitude. It's easy to let self-doubt creep in when you're alone, but true empowerment comes from rejecting those limiting beliefs and replacing them with positive affirmations. You begin to see that your potential is not limited by your current circumstances or by the voices of doubt in your head. Instead, you recognize that your power lies in your ability to act, to persevere, and to continue forward even when things get tough. Facing challenges head-on is one of the most crucial steps in personal development. The road to success and growth is rarely smooth, and everyone encounters hardships. However, it's how you approach those obstacles that determines your strength and ability to evolve. While many people might be tempted to shy away from challenges, the key to progress lies in embracing them, facing them head-on, and learning from them. When you stand up to the difficulties life throws your way, you not only build resilience, but you also gain confidence and insight into your own capabilities. Challenges, by their very nature, test your limits. They force you to confront parts of yourself that you may not want to face, your insecurities, your weaknesses, your fears. The natural reaction for many is to retreat, to seek comfort, to avoid the discomfort of the unknown. But in avoiding challenges, you forfeit the opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to realize your full potential. The only way to truly develop and discover what you're capable of is by stepping into those challenging situations with courage and determination. When you face challenges directly, you force yourself to engage with the discomfort that often comes with change and progress. It's easy to stay in familiar environments where things feel predictable and safe. But real growth happens when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, when you force yourself to face those difficulties head-on instead of running from them. In these moments, you learn more about yourself than you could ever learn through ease and predictability. You discover the hidden reserves of strength, determination, and grit that lie dormant inside you, waiting for a chance to emerge. There is also a deep sense of satisfaction and accomplishment that comes from overcoming challenges. The struggle itself becomes the teacher, revealing lessons that wouldn't be learned in any other way. Each obstacle that you face and conquer adds a new layer of resilience to your character. These experiences become building blocks, shaping your mindset and outlook on life. Instead of fearing adversity, you begin to view it as an opportunity for growth, for learning, and for transformation. You start to understand that challenges are not roadblocks to success, they are essential stepping stones that push you to greater heights. When you confront challenges, you develop problem-solving skills that are essential in both personal and professional life. Every challenge comes with its own set of circumstances, and each requires a unique approach. The more you engage with these difficulties, the more you sharpen your ability to think critically and adapt to changing situations. You learn to analyze, strategize, and take action skills that will serve you throughout your life. The ability to adapt to different challenges, to pivot when necessary, and to stay composed under pressure are all cultivated through the direct confrontation of adversity. Facing challenges also teaches you the importance of persistence. There will be moments when you will feel like giving up, when the difficulty seems insurmountable and the path ahead unclear. But it is in these moments that the greatest growth occurs. True strength is built through perseverance, the ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks and hardships. When you continue to push through, even when things seem tough, you develop a mindset of resilience that will carry you through future obstacles. You realize that the challenges you face are not final, they are temporary tests of your resolve. By showing up, even in the face of adversity, you prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and it's something that no one can avoid. But failure is not the end, it is simply a part of the journey. It is in failure that we learn the most about our limitations and our strengths. When you confront challenges, you may fail at times. But that failure doesn't define you. What matters is how you respond to it. If you allow failure to defeat you, you miss the lesson that comes with it. But if you view failure as an opportunity to learn, to improve, and to adjust your approach, then you are building the resilience necessary for long-term success. Facing challenges head-on also builds a strong sense of self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is the belief in your own ability to succeed, and it is one of the most powerful motivators you can cultivate. Every time you face a challenge and come through it, you reaffirm your belief in your own capabilities. With each victory, big or small, your sense of competence grows, and you begin to trust in your ability to overcome whatever comes your way. This self-belief is crucial for tackling future challenges. When you know you've succeeded in the past, you are more likely to believe that you can succeed again, which makes it easier to tackle the next obstacle. When life is easy and everything goes according to plan, it's easy to forget why you're working so hard or what you're striving for. But when challenges arise, they force you to reconnect with your goals and values. They remind you of what truly matters and push you to dig deep and find the motivation to keep going. In times of difficulty, your purpose becomes clearer, your determination sharper, and your resolve stronger. Each challenge you overcome brings you one step closer to fulfilling your purpose and achieving your goals. Self-reliance is one of the most powerful tools you can develop in life. It is the ability to depend on yourself, to trust your own judgment, and to take action without waiting for someone else to do it for you. It's about recognizing that you are in control of your destiny and that your choices, actions, and mindset are the driving forces behind your success. In a world where external validation is often sought, self-reliance requires a shift in perspective, one that encourages inner strength, personal accountability, and confidence in your own abilities. Relying on yourself doesn't mean that you should never seek help or support from others. We all need guidance and encouragement at times. However, true self-reliance means not depending on others to solve your problems, make decisions for you, or carry the weight of your responsibilities. It means taking ownership of your life and embracing the understanding that you have the power to shape your own future. This begins with recognizing that, no matter the circumstances, you are the one who has the power to decide how you respond to challenges, how you move forward, and how you approach each day. The foundation of self-reliance is self-belief. You have to trust that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. This belief in yourself is essential because without it, it's easy to become discouraged or to look to others for answers. When you rely on external sources for your confidence, you are giving up control of your life. But when you cultivate belief in your own abilities, you recognize that you have the resources within you to figure things out, make decisions, and find solutions. Self-belief is not about being arrogant or overestimating your abilities. It's about acknowledging your strengths, understanding your weaknesses, and knowing that you have the resilience and determination to grow and improve. When you rely on others too much, you limit your ability to grow. However, when you take responsibility for your own problems, you learn to be resourceful and creative in finding solutions. Resourcefulness is the ability to use what you have at your disposal, whether it's knowledge, skills, or creativity, to navigate challenges and overcome obstacles. Instead of waiting for someone to offer a solution, you start to look within yourself for ideas, strategies, and approaches that can help you move forward. Resourcefulness also encourages adaptability. Life is unpredictable, and challenges often arise in ways you don't expect. When you are self-reliant, you learn to adapt to changing circumstances, find new paths when the old ones no longer work, and continue moving forward, even when the road ahead seems unclear. Self-reliance also means taking accountability for your actions. When you depend on others too much, it's easy to blame others for your failures or shortcomings. However, personal responsibility is a cornerstone of self-reliance. By owning your decisions, both the successes and the failures, you empower yourself to make changes and improvements. Blaming others for your situation only keeps you stuck. Taking responsibility allows you to identify what went wrong, learn from your mistakes, and grow from them. It encourages you to take control of your life and shape your future, rather than waiting for someone else to make things happen for you. Learning to rely on yourself also means developing mental toughness. It's easy to give up when things get tough, especially when you don't have anyone else to turn to for support. But mental toughness allows you to keep going even when it feels easier to quit. It's the ability to maintain focus, stay positive, and keep pushing forward, even in the face of adversity. When you're self-reliant, you don't look to others to provide you with motivation or encouragement. You develop the internal strength to stay committed to your goals, to persevere through difficulties, and to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems long and uncertain. When you depend on others to push you or guide you, you may find yourself procrastinating or putting off important tasks. However, self-reliance encourages you to take responsibility for your time, to prioritize tasks, and to manage your day in a way that maximizes productivity and progress. You learn to set your own deadlines, hold yourself accountable, and take the necessary steps to move forward. Time management is a skill that is directly tied to self-reliance because it helps you take control of your day and ensures that you are working towards your goals without waiting for someone else to guide you or make decisions for you. Being self-reliant also means being confident in your decisions. Often, people look to others for approval or validation before they make a choice. They second-guess themselves or delay decisions because they fear making the wrong choice. Self-reliance removes that need for approval and encourages you to trust your own instincts. While seeking advice is important, ultimately the decision is yours to make, and you must trust that you have the ability to choose the best course of action for yourself. When you develop the confidence to make decisions on your own, you take ownership of your life and stop letting others dictate your path. You learn to trust yourself and your judgment, knowing that you can always course correct if needed. You are not reliant on others to fix your problems, but you understand that you have the ability to learn, adapt, and grow from every experience. Whether it's learning new skills, expanding your knowledge, or developing emotional intelligence, self-reliance means that you are always seeking ways to improve yourself and your circumstances. When you are self-reliant, you take ownership of your personal development and recognize that you are the key to your own progress. Overcoming fear is one of the most powerful steps toward personal empowerment and growth. Fear is something that every person experiences at some point in life, and it often arises when facing the unknown or stepping out of one's comfort zone. It can manifest in various forms: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. But regardless of its shape, fear can hold you back from achieving your potential and pursuing your goals. The key to overcoming fear is not about eliminating it entirely, but rather learning how to face it, manage it, and use it as fuel for progress. Fear has a powerful grip on many people, often preventing them from taking risks, making decisions, or even attempting to change their circumstances. The natural reaction to fear is usually to avoid it. When you're afraid of something, you try to stay away from it, hoping that by doing so, the fear will disappear or lose its power. However, avoiding fear only strengthens its hold. The more you run from it, the more it controls you. Overcoming fear begins with recognizing it for what it is: an emotional response to a perceived threat or uncertainty, and understanding that it doesn't define you. Fear is a natural part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to control your actions or prevent you from moving forward. The first step in overcoming fear is acknowledging it. Often we try to push fear down, pretending it doesn't exist, but doing so only makes it more difficult to confront. Acknowledging fear means being honest with yourself about what scares you, why it scares you, and how it's affecting your behavior. By identifying your fear, you take away its power over you. You can then begin to explore the root causes of your fear and understand that it often stems from past experiences, uncertainties about the future, or negative beliefs about yourself. Once you recognize that fear is a reaction to perceived danger, whether real or imagined, you can begin to challenge its validity. Fear often thrives on the unknown. We fear what we cannot predict or control. This is especially true when it comes to taking risks or making big decisions. But the truth is, you can never completely eliminate uncertainty from life. Every step forward requires a level of vulnerability and a willingness to face the unknown. Overcoming fear means accepting uncertainty and moving forward anyway. When you stop waiting for perfect conditions or absolute certainty, you open yourself up to new possibilities and opportunities. This doesn't mean being reckless or ignoring the risks, but it means recognizing that fear of the unknown should not paralyze you from taking action. Instead of viewing fear as something that holds you back, start seeing it as an opportunity for growth. Fear often arises when we are about to challenge ourselves, learn something new, or step out of our comfort zones. It signals that change is on the horizon, and change is where growth happens. When you shift your perspective and view fear as a sign of progress rather than a barrier, you become more willing to confront it. Each time you push past a fear, you build your confidence and resilience. You prove to yourself that fear doesn't have to dictate your actions or hold you back from achieving your goals. One powerful tool for overcoming fear is taking small, consistent actions toward what scares you. Often, fear feels overwhelming because it seems like a massive obstacle standing in the way of your success. But the key is breaking it down into manageable steps. Instead of looking at the entire situation and feeling paralyzed, focus on taking one small action at a time. With each step forward, fear loses its power. These small actions accumulate over time, and what once seemed impossible becomes more achievable. You start to build momentum, and the fear that once felt all-consuming begins to feel less threatening. Fear often arises when we doubt our ability to handle what lies ahead. We worry about failure, about making the wrong choice, or about not being able to cope with the consequences. However, when you trust yourself, when you believe that you have the resilience, the skills, and the adaptability to handle whatever comes your way, you reduce the power that fear has over you. Building self-trust is a process that takes time, but it's essential for overcoming fear. The more you trust in your ability to make decisions and adapt to challenges, the less fear will control your actions. Fear of failure is one of the most paralyzing fears that people experience, but it's important to understand that failure is not a permanent state. Failure is simply feedback. It's a lesson in what didn't work and an opportunity to adjust and try again. Embracing failure as part of the journey helps to remove the fear of it. When you stop viewing failure as something to avoid at all costs and start seeing it as a stepping stone to success, fear loses its grip. Every successful person has failed at some point, but what sets them apart is their ability to keep going, to learn from their mistakes, and to continue pursuing their goals despite setbacks. Often, fear arises when we focus too much on potential future outcomes, imagining worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened. Mindfulness allows you to stay grounded in the present and focus on what you can control right now. By focusing on the present moment and taking things one step at a time, fear loses its grip on your mind. You begin to see that the things you fear are often exaggerated in your mind, and the reality is that you are capable of handling much more than you think. Consistency is one of the most vital elements in achieving long-term success, whether it's in personal growth, career, health, or relationships. Without consistency, goals can feel distant and unattainable. The key to progress is not relying on bursts of intense motivation or sporadic efforts, but rather committing to regular, steady actions, even when motivation wanes. Consistency breeds discipline, and discipline is the foundation of all meaningful achievement. It is through persistent, everyday effort that small steps accumulate into significant, lasting change. The power of consistency lies in its ability to build momentum. At first, it may seem like small actions don't make a noticeable difference, but the truth is, these small, consistent actions compound over time, leading to exponential growth. It's easy to get discouraged when progress seems slow or invisible, but when you stay consistent, even when results are not immediately apparent, you are laying the groundwork for long-term success. Each small action is a brick in the foundation of your goals, and while it may seem insignificant at first, the cumulative effect of these actions is what leads to breakthroughs. Habits are the behaviors we do without thinking, and they have a profound impact on our lives. The key to transforming your life is building positive habits that move you closer to your goals. Whether it's waking up early, exercising regularly, reading every day, or working on a project, consistent action over time can turn any behavior into a habit. Once a habit is formed, it becomes automatic. You no longer have to rely on willpower or motivation to get things done. The habit takes over, and the process becomes much easier. The more consistent you are with your habits, the more they become ingrained in your routine, creating a powerful cycle of productivity. Consistency is also essential for building resilience and mental toughness. There will be days when you don't feel like putting in the effort, when motivation is low, and when challenges seem insurmountable. During these times, consistency is what keeps you going. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the burst of motivation to strike. It's about showing up every day, regardless of how you feel. Even on days when progress feels slow, staying consistent ensures that you are still moving forward. Over time, the act of consistently pushing through difficult days will make you stronger. You'll develop mental resilience that will serve you in all aspects of your life, allowing you to keep going even when things get tough. Consistency also fosters a sense of accountability. When you commit to a consistent course of action, you hold yourself accountable for following through. This self-accountability is what drives you to show up day after day, even when no one else is watching. The more you rely on consistency, the more you rely on your own discipline and self-control. You stop waiting for external motivation or approval and start taking ownership of your actions. Accountability creates a sense of personal responsibility, which is essential for achieving any goal. By sticking to your commitments, you prove to yourself that you are capable of following through, even when challenges arise. It's easy to become obsessed with results, and when those results don't come quickly enough, it's easy to become discouraged. However, consistency teaches you to value the process. It's the daily actions, the small wins, and the steady effort that lead to success, not the outcome itself. By focusing on the journey and committing to the process, you shift your mindset away from instant gratification and learn to appreciate the value of persistence. This mindset shift can help you maintain motivation even when the immediate results aren't visible. Consistency also helps to build confidence. When you show up every day and do the work, you start to trust in your ability to achieve your goals. The more consistent you are, the more evidence you gather that you can handle challenges and keep moving forward. Each time you follow through with your commitments, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. This sense of accomplishment builds your confidence, which in turn reinforces your commitment to consistency. The more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to stay consistent, because you know you can rely on yourself to keep going. Consistency helps to establish a routine, and routines are the backbone of productivity. When you establish a consistent routine, you take the guesswork out of your day. You don't have to wonder what you should be doing or when you should do it. A routine provides structure, which makes it easier to stay on track and achieve your goals. Whether it's a morning routine, a work routine, or an exercise routine, consistency helps you to organize your day in a way that maximizes productivity. Once a routine is established, it becomes second nature, allowing you to focus on the tasks at hand instead of wasting energy on decision-making or procrastination. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you exercise your willpower. Willpower is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Consistency requires you to stay disciplined and committed to your goals, and with each day that you show up, you build your willpower. The more consistent you are, the easier it becomes to resist temptation, push through obstacles, and stay focused on the bigger picture. Over time, consistency helps to turn willpower into a habit of its own, making it easier to stay disciplined and focused without constantly relying on conscious effort. With consistent action, you create a pattern that makes it easier to evaluate your growth and identify areas where improvement is needed. Progress becomes visible through consistent effort, and this visibility allows you to make necessary adjustments and refine your approach. By tracking your actions,